Hello everybody. A quick message at the start. Activision officially unbanned me, but they refused to whitelist me. So I told them that I'd be banned within a few hours of streaming, but they still insisted that whitelists aren't available at the minute. And guess what? I got banned again in 2 hours and 25 minutes of streaming, which is a new shadow ban world record for a legitimate player. When I followed up with an email to them, I was told that they won't be assisting me further with unbans. So here we are.
Legoland Windsor, my dude.
Cereal box license!
All right, so shout out to my boy Xavier Jones for bringing this clip to my attention. I very much appreciate it. Let's just take a look at what Doc says right here. And you guys let me know in the comments below, do you think Doc's also wearing a tinfoil hat? Are we just making all this stuff up, or what's going on? Let's take a look, shall we?
Okay, it's gonna be tough, you guys, because these guys are gonna be staring on the third monitors, all right? And they're gonna adjust and rotate based on that. What they should do and honor this match correctly, and put down the screen, put down the stream, and fight this game like we're playing a real ranked fight.
All right, so shout out to my boy Xavier Jones for bringing this clip to my attention. I very much appreciate it. Let's just take a look at what Doc says right here. And you guys let me know in the comments below, do you think Doc's also wearing a tinfoil hat? Are we just making all this stuff up, or what's going on? Let's take a look, shall we?
Okay, it's gonna be tough, you guys, because these guys are gonna be staring on the third monitors, all right? And they're gonna adjust and rotate based on that. What they should do and honor this match correctly, and put down the screen, put down the stream, and fight this game like we're playing a real ranked fight.
Alright, so shout out to my boy Xavier Jones for bringing this clip to my attention. I very much appreciate it. Let's just take a look at what Doc says right here. And you guys let me know in the comments below, do you think Doc's also wearing a tinfoil hat? Are we just making all this stuff up, or what's going on? Let's take a look, shall we? Okay, it's gonna be tough, you guys, because these guys are gonna be staring on the third monitors, alright? And they're gonna adjust and rotate based on that. What they should do and honor this match correctly, and put down the screen, put down the stream, and fight this game like we're playing a real ranked fight. All right, what's going on, YouTube? Welcome back. Since this is the second upload of the day, because this just came out, and I think this is really good information to share. We're doing a double upload. I'm gonna save you guys the intro. You know who I am. If not, I'm Boston Daily 91. Also, look, this is a great video from Upper Echelon Gamers, but I want to make a point before we even get into the video. First off, this dude makes pretty good videos, actually really good. He covers pretty good topics, so make sure you go over and subscribe to his channel. I think he keeps it very transparent, and he's not biased in how he tells the story. So yeah, that's a good channel. I take information from there and share it with you guys, so I think you guys should go there and get some of your own information. And if you go over there from here, make sure to let him know who sent you. Shout us out. We're kind of going to give our commentary on this video, but I want to make it completely transparent that in this situation, it is very sad and it's very tragic. Somebody lost their life, right? So let's just take time to think about that and understand before we go and say something disrespectful in the comments that we are upset over how we've been getting treated in a video game. This is someone's mom or sister or relative or person that lost their life over the actions that have happened here. So let's kind of take that into account and take that very serious and not put anything disrespectful in the comments in regards to that. This is for educational purposes only, and it just came out, and it's a good video, and I thought I had a lot of good information, so I'm sharing it with you guys. So with that being said, hope you guys sit back, enjoy the video. It is going to be a banger, and we are going to commentate throughout it. So relax,
and it's
baby.
a topic that's been pretty much front and center for the past. Okay, today is a really rough topic, and it's a topic that's been pretty much front and center for the past week now, but it's a topic I feel every YouTuber should cover who has a vested interest in the space, because it is, without question, going to become a defining moment in the history of gaming. I need to be very clear right now about exactly how I'm going to cover this. I will not be going in depth on specific allegations. I will not be digging around trying to verify accusations, and I won't be discussing the merit of these events because there is, honestly speaking, simply too much coming to light right now. There are hundreds of allegations from over 100 people. This is not a twit longer cancellation. This is a real problem, and it's taken the form of a legal action being brought by the state of California versus Activision Blizzard. There are dozens of sources verifying accusations. There are various levels of severity when we look at what has been claimed, and understanding that Activision Blizzard will get a day in court to defend themselves, as is required and very necessary. I want to discuss the entire situation from top to bottom without focusing on individual accusations because, like I said, there are just too many of them. To put it in perspective, however, without focusing too much, there was an alleged death as a result of workplace culture. An employee took her own life after a work trip, or during a work trip rather, after coworkers shared lewd pictures of her around between them. There were dozens, hundreds even, reports of workplace abuse, sexual harassment, assault, and so much more. This could very well be the end of Blizzard. The development for World of Warcraft has already been paused. It's unclear whether or not there will ever be another BlizzCon convention. Really, I don't think that would be a good idea. It's unclear what will happen to Activision itself in light of this lawsuit, and what we are witnessing is what appears to be the most severe workplace culture reckoning in gaming, period. That's no small claim. Just recently, Ubisoft grappled with numerous allegations of improper workplace culture, which resulted in multiple executive departures. Riot Games, the developer and publisher for League of Legends, was accused of having a frat boy culture, nearly word for word was being alleged here and now with Activision Blizzard, but those accusations never really hit critical mass. All over the industry, we've seen.
So what he's saying is in other game companies like Ubisoft, they have had this same frat boy-like culture. So understand what cons are. Cons are places where these companies, it's like they throw like a big party and announce new news and things like that about future comings with the game. So it's like a very, like, there's a lot of girls and things like that that go on there just to kind of give you some insight to what goes on behind the scenes and how people will get prideful.
Stories about crunch, harassment, and atmospheric problems. I have my own opinions on the wider usage of the term crunch right now for a multitude of reasons, but that's a whole separate video. But this isn't that. This is so much more and so much worse than what we have seen before. I genuinely don't know what the future of Blizzard will ultimately look like. It all reminds me of a TV show called Succession. For those that haven't seen it or haven't seen all of it, I am about to discuss spoilers, so be warned or skip ahead or whatever. The show is about a global media and entertainment company called Waystar Royco. Waystar Royco, owned by the Roy family, is in the midst of a power transition, but during that power transition, things come to light that radically change how the company's future will be shaped. It starts as a sort of side arc, if you will. A rising executive and a bumbling assistant are given access to a file, and that file shows that there has been an ongoing pattern of criminal behavior, harassment, and other much more very severe situations in their cruise line division, which were being covered up at foreign ports. The file has to be destroyed, the evidence has to be hidden, and once introduced, the situation looms over their entire family like a dark shadow, only ever getting closer to the public. Eventually, it all comes out. There is no way to cover something like that up forever. People come forward, the news breaks, and the entire company is forced to radically change, culminating in the father at the end of the final season before the new one is released, the most powerful man in the picture, being thrown under the wheels of the bus by his own son to try and salvage the company's reputation. This, of course, is a dramatization. However, there are eerily similar components here which make it an easy comparison when trying to examine what actually happened at Blizzard, and how disastrous it really is. For years, the state of California, like a state-run investigation, not some ex-employee with a private law firm, the state of California has been conducting a covert investigation of the company, finding that there have been not one, not two, not dozens, but hundreds of accounts where abuse, harassment.
So again, that's why I stress the point that we don't understand what these people and these families are going through in account of this. So that's why it's very important that we don't make jokes, because it's not the same situation that we're going through. You heard what he said. He said not 10, not 5, not 20, hundreds. That means hundreds of victims. So just because hundreds of people haven't taken their life doesn't mean it's not just as important, because it very much is. That's 100 plus something potential victims with family members attached to them. So just let's keep mind of that and not make jokes or anything like that. Please, I would very much appreciate it.
Harassment, and on one occasion, even death occurred. Let's get into the lawsuit and the response. I won't cover the litigatory details here because I'm not a lawyer. Hogue Law over on the Hogue Law YouTube channel does an excellent job breaking this all down, so I'll leave that to the experts. But the lawsuit itself, as stated earlier, is a legitimate legal action. This is not a twit longer that says, I felt uncomfortable this one time, please ruin him. This is an alleged culture of pretty horrifying stuff, widespread horrifying stuff, that covers a broad range of different departments and topics. I will link the lawsuit down below for anyone who wants to read it for themselves. That's just part one. Part two is the response, or responses, plural, for Blizzard. There are effectively 3 ways to handle a PR disaster from a corporate perspective. Option 1, calmly put out a well-worded response and fix the problem as best you can with some transparency, at least some degree of transparency. That's the rare one, okay? That hardly ever happens. Option 2, put out a badly worded response, a clumsy response maybe, and don't really fix the problem, but do enough so that you have something to point to and say, we did something, look, we tried. That's the common one.
So I want to reiterate that point into a kind of a different perspective. Imagine all the money Activision's making, allowing this cheating to go on, right? That's how they would handle it if they gave you like a poor anti-cheat that kind of worked but didn't really work. They'd be like, look, we tried, and that would be enough for the community. That's what I'm trying to say. As a community, we have to change how we go about things and say, you know what? That's not enough. Like, we don't want an anti-cheat because we know you're fucking greedy and want money, and you're not going to give us a real anti-cheat, right? We're going to stand on our fucking 2 feet and be like, look, this is what we expect. Flat out. Not take the bullshit no more.
Like highly common in the gaming industry especially. And then option 3, put out multiple contradictory statements because you have absolutely no fucking idea what's going on. Make it all worse, and it's too late to fix a lot of these problems anyway, so you're just fucked. That's the Activision Blizzard one. Like I said, they get their day in court, but in the court of public opinion, it's already a bloodbath. Blizzard CEO J. Allen Brack put out a statement internally, leaked by Jason Schreier, it was an email, I believe, which claimed that they, Blizzard, would, quote, listen to anyone who came forward. It claimed that harassment was condemned categorically on all fronts. It referenced Gloria Steinem, which read really strange and didn't make a ton of sense there, but whatever, and effectively communicated a position of, this will get investigated because we are viewing it to be true, or at least potentially true. Well, that's just the first one. In a statement to PC Gamer, however, Activision Blizzard claimed that the allegations were, quote, distorted and in many cases false descriptions of Blizzard's past, end quote, which was then underlined by an email from Fran Townsend, and she actually has her own torture scandals in the past. She worked under the Bush administration, and she's been involved with a whole lot of stuff that would really make your stomach turn, probably, and she's got a seedy history, to say the very least, right? So Fran Townsend, who has all that in her past, Activision Blizzard's compliance officer now, which said things like, quote, "The Activision companies of today, the Activision companies that I know, are great companies with good values," end quote, despite being with the company for only 6 months. She also stated, quote, "We work at a company that truly values equality and fairness. Rest assured that leadership is committed to continuing to maintain a safe, fair, and inclusive workplace. We cannot let egregious actions of others and a truly meritless and irresponsible lawsuit damage our culture of respect and equal opportunity for all employees," end quote. That is a totally different tone and
So this is from a representative from Activision, one of their initial statements, and this lady was involved in scandals at the presidential level when she worked over there. Now she's like something for the Activision. You guys heard what he said, but I want to make that clear. They're already this is a big mess. This is huge news, and that's why it's being covered, because it's happening right now. And he also mentioned they're doing a covert operation, and they have been doing a covert operation. They've been investigating them before this. So let's just keep light of that moving forward.
message when compared to J. Allen Brack, and what's worse, he wasn't the only one. Activision president Rob Kostick, at the very same time, was sending out emails internally to employees saying, "The allegations are deeply disturbing. Let me be clear, there is zero tolerance for this type of behavior in our workplace or, frankly, in our society. We as a company take every allegation seriously and investigate all claims," end quote. Again, wildly different than their compliance officer, who called the lawsuit meritless and irresponsible. Activision Blizzard is on fire, not literally speaking, but from a reputational and public perception standpoint, they are being incinerated. However, all of this ignores another key factor that I want to outline, which might explain a seemingly separate PR disaster from 2019. Here is where I need a pretty big disclaimer. I have a contact in the gaming space who has sources of their own, and I trust this person's input, okay? I actually legitimately do trust this person. I've worked with information they gave me before, and I will probably do so again, so take that for what you will. This person, with their own source, has indicated to me that there is a significant connection between the mass layoffs of 2019 and the more recent allegations from California. Postscript add-on here, that source is Sibsidian over at the Triple S League. I talked with him and he's comfortable with me putting that information out there and naming him publicly. What does that mean? Well, keep in mind, again, this is based on a source that I do trust with one corroboration at the moment, but I'm actively seeking more corroborations as well. So if you have any information at all, a business email can be found in the description down below. This would mean that the 800 or so layoffs, nearly 8% of the Activision Blizzard global staff at the time in 2019, during a record-setting year of profit, were designed to address and cover up these now visible problems. That might seem fine on a surface level. They had employees causing problems, lay them off. Good, that's how it should be. But no, because the source claims that this was a sledgehammer approach that didn't just lay off the guilty parties or even the accused parties. It laid off anyone who had pointed the finger and anyone who was even remotely associated with these type of scenarios. If that's true, not good. It is alleged by the source that this was an overcorrection, sort of, and that many people fired were not really involved at all. As a response, Activision Blizzard would go on to hire back a number of the previously laid off staff, at lower salaries by the way, but maintained its distance not only from those accused of workplace malpractice or impropriety, but also those who had stepped forward to defend themselves. An example of how this might actually line up rather precisely, in a video just released by Bellular News, who also owns a prominent World of Warcraft channel and has many inside sources on this subject, it is claimed that the worst of the behavior at Blizzard, in particular, came from the Battle.net team. Well, in 2019, most of the layoffs aimed at Blizzard during a record-setting profit year were targeted towards the publishing department, which would be, unless I am grossly mistaken here, Battle.net. It is also alleged by this source that after the layoffs, there was an overhauled contract for employment. I cannot verify this with my own eyes. I've not seen the document, so again, take all of this with a grain of salt. But the claim is that the hiring process was redefined to make it significantly harder to speak out, which would once again align with a timeline formed about this 2019 mass layoff spree as a function of looming workplace malpractice and abuse allegations forming. Again, I'm seeking more sources on this if possible. I cannot say with absolute certainty what went down back in 2019, and you should take this for what it is, a fair bit of speculation backed by a source I personally trust, but not something with a multitude of ex-employee testimonials right now to back it up. At least not yet. Either way, almost 1,000 current employees from Activision Blizzard have signed on to denounce the company's response to all of these events. Reddit threads with dozens of corroborating witness stories and other support statements have been forming all over the place, and from every single angle, even internally, the company appears to be falling apart. There is a sort of consensus forming in the world of public perception that Blizzard executives did know about these things. Activision Publishing executives did know what was happening, and they deliberately covered it up. Whether true or not, and I'm not making that determination here. Like, I'm not the unilateral arbiter of what is true or not. I'm just saying what has been forming out there on the internet. Whether true or not, that's extremely damaging. In the online world, oftentimes whoever shoots first wins, no questions asked. Blizzard is the subject of a huge opening salvo from the state of California, and for many people watching, that's all they need. I find it very hard to believe that the same Blizzard will emerge on the other side of this. Possibly not even the same Activision Blizzard will emerge on the other side of this without radical change. Executives gone, development for certain games completely stalled out or even indefinitely put on suspension, and who knows what else, because what we are witnessing is absolutely, beyond any question, a defining moment in the games industry which will have lengthy, far-reaching consequences for what used to be one of the world's leading studios. Blizzard used to be the gold standard. Blizzard used to be the company producing games everyone wanted to play, but now their employees are abused, their corporate decision-making process is infected and beyond suspect, while they fend off lawsuits at a caliber we really haven't yet seen in the entire gaming space. The company has fallen from grace, and it remains to be seen.
All right. Now, with all that being said, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Shout out to Upper Echelon Gaming for the video. As always, great content over there. Make sure to go over there and check them out. I will leave that linked along with the lawsuit, along with the way to report internet crime, all in the description. Make sure to check us out over there. So, I'll see you guys in the next one. Chuck them up, Chino.